Okay, so let's start prototyping our leg IK, and we'll start doing it. The reason why I say prototyping is because we'll just prototype it pretty quickly, and then we'll basically go and close it into HDA, clean it up and make it more agnostic and generic. Cool. So let's start with the rig VOP. And what we will do with the first input, as a first input, we're gonna plug in our skeleton. And maybe to have a better view of it, we'll just plug in our skeleton. And as a second input, we're gonna plug in our controls. And that's gonna be kind of our rule of thumb when we'll be designing our modules, okay? And we can call it leg IK. Let's now just bring our rig visualizer here at the end, so we will be able to see what's happening. And yeah, we're ready to dive in. Nice. Now, in a rig VOP, we need to bring in the transformation. So we need to bring the transformation for upper, the knee and the ankle, okay? So we can do it, get transforms, get point transform. Fantastic, cool. Call it root. Let's give it a nice green color because that will be standing out for the joints. And let's just go to the settings and let's change it so you'll see, yeah, first input, but we'll go by name, okay? And the name will say L up leg GNT. The reason why we call it root is because when you create IK solver, the IK solver has, it's basically taking the targets, for example, and it's operating with the naming convention like root, goal or target, and the twist. So it will be easier for us to debug it if we keep it named this way. So let's put it a little bit down. So our root is the up leg. And for example, I will show you something cool to debug it. Sometimes when you're using a, get point transforms, you wanna see where is your joint or something like that. What is, if it's, properly bring it in, you can just add the joint. You can use the add joint here. You can see the joint, extra joint get created. You can call it test. Doesn't really matter. Let's give it a red color. And let's go take out the transform, which is basically the matrix. And believe me or not, it's there, but in order to see it, you can just enter, you can display the visibility for the rig VOP, and if you hit enter to enter the Python state, you can see that it's there. So that's cool. That led us to kind of debug it, if everything's like sourced properly. Let's add two more because we need the one for knee. So I'm gonna call this one mid, and that will be L low leg. Fantastic. And the last one will be end. And that will be ankle. So those green ones are the joints which will be driven by the IK. For this one, the solving will happen. Now, when you select your IK solver node, there is a few signatures. Signatures is like how they works and what kind of, not really how they works, but how the data will comes into it. So you can have target IDs where you just pass, you just specify from which input the targets are coming, and you just passing array of integers. The other option is to use something similar for the controls, and etc, etc. You have the very different options. What we're gonna use for in our case, is like we're gonna go with the target transform, root, goal, and twist matrix. So for the root, goal, and twist, we're gonna use matrices, and for our targets, we're gonna use array of matrices. Okay? The reason why, because it's easier to manage that, you know, and if you want to add new joints, you know, you can add it, whatever. So the way how I like to set it up, now what happens, you need to create that array of matrices. So what we'll do, we're just gonna go and create empty array here. So we'll do empty, constant, and we'll call it empty transform array, and let's call it transforms. And we'll change the type to array, matrix array. So that will be matrix for array. Yep, that's it. That's basically our array. So this is the empty. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna add y by 1. So we go here and we do append. Sorry for the sounds. We go do append. So that's a root, and then we're gonna add another one to. So the append node is returning, you know, the array with this one which was added. So we're gonna just plug it as an input for the next one. Get the X from this one, append it. Control C, Control V, and as an input here, and this X form. So now we have an array of all of those 3 transforms, and we can plug them in here. Cool. That's actually pretty easy, right? The next thing what we need to do, we need to bring our controls. So we'll grab our nodes, just paste it here, and we'll say ik root, and our k root will be l up leg ik ctrl. And let's change the color to like pinkish or reddish. Yep. So the controls will have like red colors, and the input joints will have green. The middle, so that will be ik mid. That will be basically a knee control. So L low leg and Control C, Control V, and that will be ankle. So L ankle ik control, and we'll call it end. Ik end. Cool. Let's plug everything in. So our root transform is our root, which is pretty easy. Oh, actually, let me bring it in because of the resolution. Maybe you can't see. So our X form is going to root from ik root. Our goal will be our end ik, so that's our goal for solving, and our twist, the twist control, will be the mid one. Okay, cool. And let's just change the last settings. So the lookup axis is the axis which is, you know, the lookup for the skeleton, and in our case, as you remember, it was the X, and the up axis was Y. We want a twist flag to be on, and that's basically it from the settings which you need to have here. Now, we just turn off the colors, we just, you know, move everything left, and you go up, you exit the Python state, and let's create the rig pose here. So we can move our joints, the controls, hit the enter. Let's select the ankle ik. Okay, and let's move it. Yeah, we're moving ankle ik, but nothing is solving, you know, like you can see that nothing's happened, right? The reason why nothing happens is because you haven't connected outputs from the solve ik to set the transforms. We didn't set the transforms. We're just getting transforms here, but we never set the transforms, okay? In order to set the transforms, like the way how I like to do it is to basically create another empty array just of the point numbers of the joints which we get the transforms. We're gonna use the same point numbers to set the transforms, okay? So that will be our empty IDs array. So transform we'll replace with IDs, and we'll just call it IDs, and that will be integer array. Where is that? Here. Cool. And as you can see, we're just gonna take append, and we'll take the point num, and we'll plug it to the value, Control C, Control V, yes here, and the point number to the value. So the point num stands for basically the number of the point for that one particular joint which we're getting by name. And that can change all the time. That's why we building that array. So we're not specifying the numbers, hard coding it. We're just gonna use we're gonna create HD8 out of it. So we'll be more procedural when we're gonna change, and you can use it anywhere. You can use it for arms and things like that. So what we're building now is not really, just for a leg. You can use it anywhere. So we have an array of, we have two arrays, one of the transforms and one with the IDs. And now what you need to do basically is just use the set point transforms. And here you're passing two things. You're passing a transforms, which will getting from the solved, not from this one which you got, because these ones are not solved. We want this one solved, and the points. And now, lo and behold, something's changed. So let's go back to our setups. Let's display things here, and let's see how do they look. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna clear our transformations, and we'll display and look at it, and that looks completely broken, right? It's not what you expected, right? So let's exit the Python state for a second. So that's before. If we visualize the rig, that's before our rig VOP. And when we go like this, it's like, right. Okay, let's go and debug it, okay? So first things first, let's display it here. Let's hit the enter, and let's go back there, and let's see if all the informations are being brought in properly, okay? So that's a red joint, yeah, that will be moving. So let's see if the low leg is brought in properly. Yeah, it is. It's this where it should be. Let's check the ankle is where it should be. Fantastic. And what about, oh, this is in the middle, right? So that's not where it should be. The root should be here. Up leg IK CTRL. Up leg IK CTRL. Oh, of course, it's not coming. So the controls are not coming from the first input. Here there's no controls data. Like if we select that node, you see, it's only joints. If we select this input, that's only controls. And here we need to change from where the controls are coming. They're coming from the second. And now you see that joint is going back this way. So that's a great way how to debug stuff. And now we can see, yep, it's the same issue. We need to switch everything to the second input, of course, and the second input. Cool. Now, let's disconnect our add joint, and let's just disable it so we don't have this additional joint created. Disconnecting is not enough. If you just disconnect it, it's still going to be created there because you can still specify where, but we need to disable it so not having it. Okay, and now if we go up, yeah, the looks look okay, and we can just display our, transforms, right? And let's go to the rig pose, and let's grab our ankle, and yeah, so this is our ankle. We're moving ankle here, and this is our like kind of a twist vector which we're using. And sometimes if you want, you can also have you move the upper part if you would like to. It depends on your setup. In our setup, we're not gonna have separated control for that, but it's there if you would like to have some, you know, additional control for animators to like offset the IK a little bit. Why not? Yeah, so this is working. It's it looks cool, and this is our basic leg IK setup.